What is up, everybody? This is Eric, the one and only Erik collector, and today I have a special movie review. I have a 2-in-1 movie review. As you guys seen from the title, not this weekend, but the weekend of February 1st, I watched two movies that really got me by surprise. As you guys know from the titles, you already know which movies I'm talking about because I'm going to put them in the titles. But first movie that I saw during that weekend was The Addams Family. Sorry, I have it as a paper because I actually rented both movies at the Red Box. This is 2019's The Addams Family. Now, one little bit of a quick history or background. I'm a big fan of the Addams Family. Big fan. Big fan of the movies of Addams Family Values with Raul Julia and Christopher Lloyd. And I'm a huge fan of the video games. Now, the very first video game I ever reviewed on YouTube was the Addams Family for the SNES. It's also the same for the Genesis, and they're both awesome games. You guys should check out that video. Scroll all the way at the end, and it'd be the very first video I ever made. But you know, I'm a big fan of the Addams Family. Now, when I heard last year that they were making an Addams Family movie, I was actually really excited. I was actually hyped up for it. So I'm like, oh, what's it gonna be? Is it gonna take off after the Addams Family Values movie? Is baby Pubert gonna be a grown teenager? What's gonna happen? So I was excited, you know, that I heard that it was gonna be coming out. Then my friend told me, he's like, dude, you know that this movie is gonna be a CGI animated movie. Well, my hyperness went from up all the way down. So anyways, you know, I kept seeing the cuts of the movie, and I'm kind of like, okay, cool, you know, whatever. My son kept seeing it. He seems like he wanted to watch it. He was hyped up about it. You know, it's a cartoon for kids. And anyways, you know, I told him, you know, if I'll get to take you to the movies and we'll see it. But that time came and went. We never had a chance to go, and eventually we got to when it came out on DVD on around February 1st of 2020. We watched it, and I gotta say, I was surprised about this movie. First of all, to tell you what it's about, it's kind of like a reboot to the Addams Family. It kind of gives you the background of how Gomez and Morticia got married and how the villagers at the time didn't want them in the town and kicked them out of the town. They met Lurch and they found the Addams Family mansion, and ever since then they started living there, and throughout the years they actually had Wednesday and they had Pugsley, and they became the Addams Family. Now, you know, what's his name, Uncle Fester was in and out visiting. But anyways, this movie takes place after I believe, I don't know, Wednesday is, you could tell that Wednesday's age is probably like in her tweens, like 12, 13, like junior high age, and then Pugsley is like a little bit younger. Well, the whole thing is that Gomez is preparing young Pugsley to go through his mazurka, which is like a coming of passage for a young boy, and all the Addams Family men partake on this event, and it's a very big deal for the family. In the meantime, Wednesday gets attracted of looking outside of the gate of the mansion, because at this point all the kids go, you know, Wednesday and Pugsley are homeschooled. They're not taken outside, and it's like Wednesday wants to see the world, you know, or see outside of the gates. And Morticia kind of doesn't like that, and Gomez don't like that, and whatever. At the same time, we got outside of the mansion, there's a small town that's growing. This one lady, I forgot her name, she's taking over the home. She has like this live show about homes, about she's trying to build new homes, trying to sell them and everything, and she has a young daughter about the same age as Wednesday, and the daughter is kind of like an outcast, kind of like a rebellish daughter in the school. But there's deeper plans for the lady that she's forced to sell many homes in order to keep her show going. So at this time Wednesday, she sees the girl. She decides that she wants to enroll in the school, and she does, and eventually befriends the girl and a couple of other girls in the school, and they do their antics and they do their things. Now we got, at the other end, we have Pugsley getting ready for his mazurka, and you know, he tries to get ready for that, but Pugsley's a little bit nervous because this all involves swords. Gomez is good with the sword, you know, and you know, Uncle Fester is there to help out. But at the same time, Pugsley's kind of nervous about it because his thing is demolition. His thing is like bombs and things like that, you know, like blowing up things. That's his expertise. But he gets nervous and he's trying his best to go through with it. Now, eventually, I don't want to review more about this movie because the last part of the movie is really good. So I suggest you guys should watch it. It has a lesson. This is what I like to see. I like cartoons that are for kids and family that give kids a lesson, and it's a really cool lesson that it has in the movie. And you know, I don't want to spoil that lesson because you guys will obviously get it if you watch it. But anyways, go out and watch it. I was very surprised. I read also that I think they're getting ready to do a sequel to this movie, so I can't wait for the sequel. It actually surprised me. Really surprised me. So anyways, that was that movie. The next movie my son wanted to watch, but it's not for kids. So once my son went to bed, my girlfriend and I stayed later in the evening. And the movie I watched, and I was surprised about this one, is Terminator Dark Fate. Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. God, I forgot the name of Sarah Connor, but it's the same actor. Hamilton. Forgot her name. Yeah, and it starts them in the movie. Now this movie, I was surprised. In a way, it's, don't get me wrong, it's a great movie. But I'll share my points. First, let me just give you a little bit about what the story goes. First of all, I believe that this story is kind of like a continuation, yet a reboot. And it kicks off Terminator 3, Terminator Salvation, Terminator Genesis. It takes off 20 years after Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Unfortunately, I have to spoil this one. In the movie, it shows that right after Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Sarah Connor and young John Connor, they destroyed the Terminator and the T-1000. But then, unfortunately, they go hide off in Guatemala. And unfortunately, a Terminator follows them, kills John Connor, and so ends the Terminator seeking out for John Connor. Now, fast forward to 2020. It takes place in Mexico City. You have this young girl named Daniela Reyes, but they call her Danny. Her brother and her dad, they live together. Brother and Danny work at a car factory. All of a sudden, this one Terminator pops in, appears all of a sudden. Then at another place in Mexico City, a female, what we think it's a Terminator at first, pops out, which turns out to be a android of some sort. But she's the one that's out there to protect Danny, and the other Terminator is a different Terminator. It's an R9 model, but it's out to kill Danny. So eventually they make their way to the factory. Danny realizes that the R9 is killing people in the factory, kills her brother, and all of a sudden appears the female. God, I forgot her name in the movie. God, I forgot her name, but it's her right here in the picture. It's her. But anyways, she appears to help out Danny. So they try to get away from the R9. Now this R9 is a badass robot, right? Because this dude splits. The exoskeleton comes out and attacks, while the skin kind of turns like, it looks like the T-1000 is like a liquid form of a robot, and they split in two and they start attacking. So it's like a deadly robot, right? So, you know, during the car chase, she's asking questions because they're after them. They're trying to get away. Danny asked the other android what's going on, and she explains that they're out to kill her. Now a little bit after appears Sarah Connor. Sarah Connor comes out, helps them out, helps them out because the R9 is coming to attack, but gets rid of, kind of like gets them out of their way so they can escape. And at the same time, the android, I kid you not, I feel like this android, she was diabetic, because I kind of joked, no offense about that, by the way, I'm diabetic myself, so you know, I got a right to kick it. So I could tell that, you know, not in a bad way, but because eventually she gets really like heated, very tired. It looks kind of like when someone has diabetes, where they kind of feel flustered after doing so much action, so much, you know, that she needs a shot of some medicine. They don't say it's insulin, of course, but she starts telling her that she needs she tells Danny that she needs to go to a pharmacy where they grab supplies, and then they have these like big old needles that she takes, where she injects herself with this medicine, and it kind of boosts her up. So I feel like you know, it's kind of similar to a diabetic. But anyways, in the meantime, Sarah catches up to them, and then they start talking. Sarah starts saying that eventually, why is this happening? If, you know, Sarah has been spending the last years killing off Terminators that were left over, because after she destroyed the T-1000 in Terminator 2, Skynet ceased to exist. However, in a sort of weird time loop, all the other Terminators that were sent out right before they ceased to exist, they came out to look for Sarah Connor and John Connor to get them. So one by one, she's been going out there to destroy the leftover ones, kind of like an assassin to the Terminators that were left over. And so she tells them, how can this be if they change the future? So the android starts telling him that she's actually an android. She's human, but she has a lot of machine in her. And that she says, who's Skynet? Now they call them Legion. And they say that the model that comes out is an R9 model, not a T-1000, a T-800, which is what Arnold Schwarzenegger was, a T-800. But anyways, so Sarah Connor says that the reason how she knows where everything is going on is because every time she receives a text or a message, they send her coordinates where a Terminator is popping out, and at the end it says for John. So eventually, they figure out that they need to go to where the source is coming from. And lo and behold, when they reach the destination, they find out that the one that's been sending the messages is none other than the T-800 Arnold Schwarzenegger. Apparently, he starts describing that after the whole events, after killing John, you know, he had no purpose. So in a way, he learned to love, because he actually married a female, didn't have a kid with the female because the female had her own son right around birth, and he raised the son. So he learned to love and understand, and this is the reason why he was sending Sarah Connor messages. By the way, this also eliminates the Sarah Connor Chronicles TV show too. So anyways, I'm going to leave it at that, you know, because the story's interesting. It's a reboot. However, I feel that I'm disappointed in the storyline, and you know, call me being nerd or anything. It's like, how can you, if you destroyed Skynet and you destroyed all of this, shouldn't the Terminator cease to exist, like be erased from time? So that means that John Connor would have kept on living without being killed. And that's where I had, you know, I was telling that to my girlfriend, and my girlfriend was like, no, it's a time loop. He got stuck. And I'm like, well, it doesn't make sense to me. You know, it could have been done differently. But I guess it's a way that Bruckheimer kind of stuck the middle finger up to the people, because he finally produced this movie, and it's like he's rebooting the series and starting all over again. This is where I was surprised because I was so looking forward to this movie, and it turned out to be, it was a great movie, don't get me wrong. The action sequences are awesome, very good action sequences, don't get me wrong, great movie. But it's a little bit of the same, and for killing John Connor, I mean, now the new savior of the world is Danny Reyes, which is no problem, but just killing off John Connor, which was the bread and butter of the series, you know, it just hurt. It hurt me from all these years watching all these movies. You know, they could have done it a little bit different, you know, but like I said, it's a way for maybe Brockheimer, which is, I believe that's the creator, the story maker of the Terminator series. It's his way of sticking it up and saying, screw you guys, I'm starting over. Not a bad movie, great movie, worth a watch, but if you're a Terminator fan like myself or been into them for many years, it could be kind of like the storyline can be a little bit disappointing. But anyways, still enjoyed it. These are my movie reviews. Sorry if I kept going so long. I'm going to go ahead and put a timestamp to tell you where all the movies start if you guys are interested in one or the other. So that way you guys can watch where you wish. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. This is Erik the Bay Area Collector. Peace out.